everyone, and welcome to the final day of 2025. It'll be the Oilers against one of those wonderful original six teams, and the fans are ready to go. They're happy about this game. Hunter always on his game, as we this evening will say goodbye to the year 2025 and ring in a new year, as we hope to have a ball as you join us this evening from wherever you are. Welcome to Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet. I'm Gene Principe, and welcome to what should be a special night. They're already doing that. The first place to do it, Kiribati, which is a country in the Oceania at 3 a.m. Mountain Time. They were having a happy New Year. If you're the Edmonton Oilers, I mean, do you want 2025 to end, considering what a year it was for this franchise, getting to another Stanley Cup final? And you know who's been leading the way and continues to do so. 14 of those wins came during that Stanley Cup playoff run, and the numbers are immense for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You have those two, and it's always a happy New Year when you have the two of them working together. Okay, you know, Times Square, you drop the ball. So you drop the ball, which means it is, well, it's the start of a new year. Did Canada drop the ball with their Olympic team? I mean, I don't think so, but there's going to be so many great players like Zach Hyman. Could have been there, should have been there maybe. How about Evan Bouchard? If you're in the playoffs, this guy's a Bull, a Red Bull. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I mean, let's be honest, he does it all for the Edmonton Oilers and maybe for the Olympics. Okay, meanwhile, out with the old, in with the new. Get rid of the old habits and start some new ones. That's the Boston Bruins tonight, as they are winless in their last six. Okay, are we ready to go here? Hang on. I got a malfunction. There we go. Malfunction. It's. We got malfunction. Hey, there we go. Happy New Year. It took me a while. I may want to do some working out in the new year. Okay, we're getting set to go here. Happy New Year. We're not there yet, but we will be soon. We hope that you'll finish off 2025 with us tonight, and with Morgan Geekie and Zach Hyman and Pasta. Connor McDavid, of course, as well as Louis DeBrusk and Jack Michaels.
And Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard.
Robert Clark, Natalie attired as always with a New Year's Eve bow tie. Perhaps overwhelming Gene Principe's New Year's night sunglasses. Well, hope springs eternal. It's a new year in a few hours, and that man, Connor Ingram, hopes he's on the playoff roster for the Edmonton Oilers, who are going to hold down first place regardless of what happens tonight, with Vegas and Anaheim already losing. Ingram, as you can see, winning 2 of 3. He was beaten on Saturday in Calgary despite stopping 29 of 32. At the other end, Jeremy Swayman's got to be the stopper. Boston is on a 6-game slide, and Swayman has lost 5 of those. He has to come up with a win for his club. That's why they gave him the big ticket, and he'll be looking at that man, Trent Frederick, who was a stalwart for the Boston Bruins. Yet to find that kind of game in Edmonton. The Oilers coming off a win over the Winnipeg Jets, and like the Jets, the Bruins have been offensively challenged lately. We're underway with Adam Henrique winning the opening faceoff against Pavel Zacha. The Oilers and the Bruins for the second time in as many weeks. An opportunity quickly for Max Jones' shot. His time with Boston did not pan out as he'd hoped. He got his first goal of the season against the Jets. Here's Charlie McAvoy for the Boston Bruins, who have not won since playing Edmonton back on the 18th. Their prior victory came on the 16th, 2 days prior. Here's Jones trying to bulldoze his way in. Swayman will put it to rest. And Louis, a once promising campaign for Boston, teetering a bit while Edmonton's heading in the other direction.
Yeah, it's been a reversal of fortunes for the Boston Bruins, and they're really trying to find their game back again. You know, for Marco Sturm, he said, listen, it's shift by shift, period by period, game by game. That's what he said this morning in his press conference. It's the only way to attack this. When you've lost 6 in a row, you're in a slump like this, pull together and try and manufacture a win.
Enrique, Frederick, and Jones started for Edmonton. The back end anchored by Regula, also back in the lineup with Darnell Nurse. And we've got a penalty coming, or excuse me, a hand pass will be whistled against Edmonton. That starting lineup, of course, brought to you by our friends at Bet99.net. As Edmonton making 2 tweaks. We talked about the one with Regula coming back in. The other is Andrew Mangiapane. Chris Knobloch scratched him for the first time this season. Mangiapane's first scratch since his second year in Calgary, Louis. He's back in the lineup and in a top 6 role.
A little conversation on why this puck came out of the zone here by Zach Hyman.
I saw a hand pass signal, yeah, Lou, and so I'm guessing that's what the violation was. Edmonton, Boston, 2 weeks ago, Louis, it was kind of a story of special teams. The Oilers got 1 on the power play and 1 shorthanded for the needed separation.
They were the difference. It was a tight hockey game between 2 teams that were battling well, and Connor McDavid's shorthanded goal, a little bit of a backbreaker for the Boston Bruins. They've been a team that, at 5-on-5, has been strong, and they thought the last couple of games again they need to get back to that, and especially in this one versus Edmonton, with the strength of their power play, Boston wants to be stingy in that regard, have to be disciplined. They've taken too many penalties as of late.
Icing against Bouchard, and here's what you were talking about, Louis. December 18th in Beantown.
And listen, Boston came out in this game and tried to play a stingy, hard game. And there's the power play goal by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Beautiful feed from Connor McDavid. And then he returns the favor on a beautiful outlet pass Ryan Nugent-Hopkins does to McDavid. That point says it all. That was right on the tape, sent him in, and they did not look back after that in the 3-1 win. And Quinn Hudson's first ever NHL goal turned out to be the game winner. That was the backbreaker, the shorthanded one.
Hudson scoring on a rebound. That turned out to be, as Louis said, the game winner in a game Edmonton claimed 3-1. Zadorov a shot off the draw, and that's flicked aside by Connor Ingram, who has looked poised as can be in his 3 prior starts with the Edmonton Oilers. He's 2-1 lifetime against the Bruins. Swayman 2-3-1 head-to-head against the Oilers, who've won 4 in a row against Boston. Draisaitl will fire it in. This point streak snapped the other night in Edmonton's win over Winnipeg. The Oilers split a pair on the road. Meanwhile, the Bruins coming off a 2-1 overtime loss to Calgary, where they gave up just 20 shots on net. McAvoy to Zadorov. Saucered ahead to Morgan Geekie with 25 goals. The only man with more is Nate McKinnon, who, by the way, Lou, has gotten 2 more tonight. He's up to 34.
This period brought to you by James H. Brown Accident Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters in injury law.
For Chris Knobloch and the Oilers in this one tonight, Jack, it's important not to get bogged down the fact that the Boston Bruins are trying to break a 6-game losing streak, play their game. And, out of the break, they've had a tough game against the Flames, a nice win versus the Winnipeg Jets, and want to continue the winning ways. But for me, and something he said this morning, move the feet, clean outside of the zone, allow them to get into the offensive zone cleanly. Boston wants to clog things up and make it tough on a forecheck like this. They'll have to be fast to pucks and quick with their passes.
Simon on the forecheck. A blast by Lorei does not make its way through. Shot to the corner and taken and cleared by Spencer Stastny. Louis alluding to that game in Winnipeg. And really, Chris Knobloch called it a top 3 performance for Calvin Pickard as an Oiler. Edmonton gave up a season-high 42 shots.
41 saves for the guy sitting beside me here on the bench. Just a terrific effort by him. He was the difference. First star in that game. I don't think anybody had him any lower than that. Terrific performance. But they did keep him to the outside for the most part, but when the shots did come through, he was there to make the save.
Hampus Lindholm, a shot from distance. That was blocked. The ricochet into the corner. Darnell Nurse up the left-hand side for Jack Roslovic. Once again, centering the third line tonight. He scored a power play goal for the second unit in the win over Winnipeg on Monday, and that turned out to be the game winner.
So you're seeing this already early on, Boston Bruins forecheck, and that's something Chris Knobloch talked about this morning. They're going to get on you. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to close things off, and they're relentless. For Edmonton, as I said, those skates have to be moving to get back to pucks as quick as possible, and passes have to be tape to tape.
This is an icing call against Darnell Nurse and the Oilers.
Yeah, never fun being in a losing streak that's 6 games, and any losing streak for that matter. These guys are ultra competitive. They understand it. But again, you have to put the helmet on, put the skates on, go to work and try and grind yourself out of that. And the Bruins are a team that pride themselves on that. But, I watched them in warm-up, right? I always kind of watch to see how a team is responding. This is an older team that knows how to kind of bring things together. It's been difficult this stretch. And looking for that breakout game. For Edmonton, they don't want to allow that to happen, though. They don't want to be the team that Boston breaks out on.
Here's Frederick chipping it ahead for Max Jones. Oilers got some bottom 6 production the other night in Winnipeg. Here's Spencer Stastny. And he tried to turn that puck toward the middle, but it was well played. Lorei with a backhand flip. Zacha did not get it out. A leaping Lorei able to knock it down, but now Frederick wins a battle. He tried to get it inside to Henrique, double team, freed it up. Eventually Henrique off the boards. Stastny rolled across to Emberson, a shot off the back foot. And a tip by Frederick glances off the pads of Swayman.
Good work down low to get that puck back by Frederick. Just stay in the battle. Eventually that shot from the blue line. I thought Stastny had an opportunity, Jack. Sharp angle shot early on. Have not registered a shot on net for slashing coming here.
Slashing Elias Lindholm shattered the twig of Evan Bouchard. And if you're trying to snap out of a 6-game slide, the one thing you don't want to do is put the Oilers on the power play.
Yeah, no, I mentioned it earlier. Discipline. Boston has to be more disciplined than what they've been as of late. And right here, just coming down aggressively on the stick by Lindholm, and it shatters. Here's that chance earlier for Stastny right here. Bring this puck to the net. Zip it in there. Maybe it bounces out. Maybe it goes in. Maybe it's a sharp rebound. Here's a little wrister by Emberson that has some eyes. And a good job by Frederick right in front of his old teammate Swayman, trying to get a piece of it. First power play to Edmonton, and it's been deadly.
Oiler power play brought to you by Play Alberta. It's scored in 8 straight games and has 21 goals over the last 15 at a 44% clip. Number 1 in the league, just a shade under 35% for the season. Meanwhile, the Boston Kill has given up a goal in 9 of its last 10 games.
Not a recipe for success.
But recipe for success in the PK includes winning a faceoff and getting it clear, which the Bruins do. McDavid to Draisaitl. Middle of the ice, it's Hyman. McDavid. Draisaitl with 11 power play goals, second only to Wyatt Johnston. In front off the pads of Swayman. Nugent Hopkins and Bouchard round out the quintet. And it's Nugent Hopkins getting it to McDavid, but an aggressive Kastelik forced a tough pass. Corrali dumps it in. Not sure Edmonton didn't feel like there was some stick work involved.
He got skate for sure. Took him down on the line. Good pressure, though, and it pays off. Can cost you that kind of pressure, but for Kastelik, he's able to corral that puck and put it down the ice.
Nugent Hopkins hard around the boards. Draisaitl Trying to barrel his way in there against Hampus Lindholm and protect the puck in the same motion. He does, but Hustadinov dashes over. Hyman won't let him out, and Hyman will take a penalty. And that's going to be a hold. Hustadinov kept the feet moving, and he negates the back half of that Edmonton power play. We'll skate 4-on-4.
Seeing a really ultra-aggressive penalty kill here by the Boston Bruins, and this is the game plan here. They're going to attack every puck carrier and give Hustadinov a lot of credit here. The smaller guy in this battle, but he just protects the puck and continues to drive the legs trying to get out of the zone. Here's Draisaitl down low, looks to thread this one through. Good stick to knock it away. Both Kastelik and McAvoy were there in the spot to not let that get through, holding the call on Hyman.
So now 4-on-4 with a penalty against Edmonton. The faceoff comes back down the ice. And Roslovic's going to take it against Casey Middlestat. Popped free off the draw to Zadorov. Inside, swept to Victor Arvidsson. Inside, Lindholm, and a chance off the side of the post. That time very close. The Bruins getting a look with Middlestat in tight. Arvidsson. After Lindholm blew a wheel, he didn't have a passing option, so he just threw it back behind the net. Roslovic takes over up to Evan Bouchard. Still pestering his Lindholm. Bouchard up to Matthias Ekholm. He'll gain the line. Give it up. Roslovic. Drop back. Cutting inside. Pakolzin. Shot denied by Jeremy Swayman, and the rebound taken by Jonathan Aspero. Rookie defenseman for the Bruins. McAvoy forcing it towards center. Bruins a bit of a team in transition. Pastrnak fell down. Oilers will chip it the other way. Here's Roslovic as the Bruins go to the power play for a minute. Shot down the ice by Geekie off an Oilers stick. And Ingram played it outside the trapezoid, but beneath the goal line. Delay of game. I thought that looked funny. And the referee right on it. This is a penalty against Edmonton and a 5-on-3.
Yeah, just a mental lapse here for Ingram as he feels the pressure and comes after this one. Roslovic's going to serve this penalty, and it's the pressure once again we've talked about. And as this puck comes around when he plays a Pastrnak points right away, it's really close. He's trying to wait, but as he fires this one through, they're saying that he dragged it through the corner. Lengthy 5-on-3 here for the Boston Bruins early.
5-on-3, 54 seconds. What a chance for Boston early. Oilers have played 17 games in a row where the team scores first wins. Here's Charlie McAvoy. Down low to Zacha. Inside stick lifted. Pastrnak looking on low. Shoots and a save made by Ingram. Rebound Bouchard. You know, Ingram dearly wants to make up for that mistake by being his own best penalty killer. Geekie down low. 25 goals on the season. Up top, McAvoy. Now Zacha. Pasternak's got 15. And a quiet year for him comparatively offensively. Down low, he'll give it up. Quick shot and a save. In tight. That was a good pass from Pastrnak to the short side. And Ingram refused to leave the post and made the save on Lindholm.
That's how you make amends right here. I think what he's trying to do here is elevate his stick, but I mean, that's pretty clear as day that he plays that through right in the blue paint. Probably felt the footsteps coming a little bit from Pastrnak. Couple good saves, as you mentioned, Jack. The way you can make amends is doing this right here. Great glove hand save on Lindholm on a beauty pass, as you mentioned, but he denies him on the line.
Hard rim by Stastny. That's knocked down by Pastrnak. Henrique, Stastny, and Emberson are out there on the PK for the Oilers. Still 10 seconds on the 5-on-3. Zacha's got to move it here. McAvoy shoots, and that's wide. One penalty over, and Pastrnak scores. Came off the end boards, and Pastrnak, I believe, caught a piece of Ingram on its way to the net. Number 16 for Pastrnak, his 8th on the power play, and the Bruins have a 1-0 lead.
This is a hard carom. I guess the only positive for Evans is the other power play's done as well, because the first one had expired. When this one caroms hard, this is from behind the net, and he just kind of rifles this through. This is that sharp angle recognizes that Ingram's away from the, it hasn't been a stellar year for Pasternak, but this is a guy that can get hot. And when he gets hot, he's one of the best goal scorers in the game, period. And he just shovels this one back, and as Ingram tries to reach back and deny it, it goes into the net, 1-0 Boston. They convert on the power play.
And that all-important first goal goes to Boston. The Oilers have lost only one game all year in regulation when they get the first goal. On the other hand, in the 19 games where they don't get the first goal, they've only won 3. Sent in deep by the Bruins, who lead it 1-0. A shot by Kastelic, and that's spun out of play by Connor Ingram. But the Boston Bruins have come in here, gotten 6 of the first 7 shots on net, and that man, David Pasternak, has given the Bees a 1-0 lead.
That's his quick feet together coming up the ice to try and manufacture some more time in the offensive zone. David Pasternak with the only goal of the game so far, but 6-1 to shots in favor of Boston. That's got to elevate as well for Edmonton.
Well, and as you know, Louis, the last 2 games, 7-1 the shots in favor of Calgary and Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So a little slow coming out of the gates following the holiday break. Nurse directs a pass to Alec Regula, up to Andrew Mangiapane. And for the second straight game, Edmonton's playing a desperate team. Here's Nurse in from the right-hand side. Jets and the Bruins both on 5-game slides entering their game. Draisaitl 1 save and a rebound for Mangiapane stopped. A third chance, but Colson doesn't materialize. Corrali could not bang it out. This is an excellent pushback shift for Edmonton. Following, again, a first 7.5 minutes largely dominated by the Bruins. Regula's shot blocked, and now a high floater sent up ice by Asamont. But there's a start for Edmonton.
Yeah, good push. And after a little timeout, reset.
Centering pass, one-timer, and a great chance for Zacha off a setup from Middlestat. Here's Victor Arvidsson throwing one toward the net, and that was redirected into the corner, shoveled out by Podkolzin. Backed off the wall, played by Bouchard up to Nugent Hopkins. He'll take a skate 9 minutes into this first period. The other thing in the 2 games coming out of the holiday break, Louis, I thought was the slot all of a sudden was a bit available again. Here's Hyman walking in. Shot deflected wide of Swain. Rebound handled by Ekholm. And now Nugent Hopkins lays it off to Bouchard. That was tipped away by Middlestat.
Good stick in front, too. I think it was Aspero that didn't allow that hard on-the-ice stick to go through right in front of Swayman.
McDavid riding a 13-game point streak. Brings it in for Bouchard. Then Nugent Hopkins. Shot on net. Save Swayman. Juicy rebound. And a hard rim by Aspero. Asamont will turn and clear. Victor Arvidsson. 15 goals as an Oiler last year. Stretch pass. Middlestat is shot off the run. And a save made by Ingram. Rebound Fraser Mitten. A bit of a drive-by. And now a clear up to Matthias Janmark. Tried to tuck it inside for Roslovic. Pursued by Laurent. Kicked out to Emberson. And now a poke check. Andrew Peak scored the only Boston goal against the Calgary Flames on Monday night. Minton with a clear. And Peak will advance it through the neutral zone. Tried to give it back to Minton. And that pass was tipped. Otherwise, Minton might have had a look. Pasternak curls one over to Laurent. Kick back, Andrew Peak, a shot available for Minton. Swimming is Ingram, and finally it's Savoy who will get a clear up to Janmark.
I'll tell you, Minton did a nice job to knock this one out of the air. Had to stick a foot off the ice on that wrister into the net and just shovel it towards the net midair.
Nurse, a shot deflected high in the air, available, chopped toward the net by Henrique. And then the puck hit the official, and that allows the Bruins to usher it outside the zone. 9 minutes to play, first period. Bruins lead it 1-0 on a power play goal by Pasternak, a drive by Regula, and a save made by Swayman. Rebound hops over the plexi and out of play. Connor Ingram, and the Oilers trail 1-0. Could have been 2. Ingram.
changes up front. Zach Hyman is not one of them. This injury cost him a chance to win the Stanley Cup and potentially win an Olympic gold medal. And while Zach has been on fire as of late, he certainly is disappointed in not getting named to Canada's Olympic team. He said he was more disappointed not to make the Four Nations team for that tournament, Louis and Jack. He said it won't change him at all, and that instead of cheering on that someone might get hurt, that he'll get a chance to replace them, he'll just cheer on Canada like the rest of us.
Yeah. Terrific attitude, though, to have for Zach Hyman. And you're right, he made a case, didn't he? Hey,
9 goals in his last 10.
And he's really pushed, and no question he was in the conversation. Rightfully so.
Lindholm a shot off the rush, and as Gene mentioned, if someone does get injured, he's certainly going to be on, I guess you'd call it a bit of a wait list. Here's Ekholm, the pickoff, but this will be an icing call against Edmonton, who trails 1-0 in this hockey game.
Pizza 73. Enjoy the Volcano Pizza today, featuring an eruption of peppercorn ranch dip. Order on game day. Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, Jack, and as you mentioned, just the familiarity, too, with Connor McDavid. He's been his winger for years now and just knows how to play with them so effectively. Now, you're talking Team Canada here. There's a lot of different teams you could assemble together, and you would argue every single one of them. But Zach Hyman, give him credit. He drove all the way to that decision-making, and like you said, there's still a lot of time before the tournament. You never know what's going to happen in the next month, and opportunities could arise. You don't wish that on anybody. They've made their selection, and that's what it is.
Well, it's a fact of life with this compressed schedule. There have been a lot of injuries. Shot by Lindholm, a high riser. Great shoulder save made by Ingram, and the rebound well played by Draisaitl up to Mangiapane. Now Hyman breaks in. Backhanded in front. That's swept away by Zacha, but just thrown carelessly into the corner for McDavid. Drop for Nurse, and now Hyman in front. Tipped by Nugent Hopkins. He'll get it right back. Angle one off the boards for Bouchard. Shot wide. Rebound Lora. And the Bruins chip it up the right-hand side. Zacha doing so. When the Bruins last played the Oilers, they were playing for first place in the Atlantic that night. They lost to the Oilers 3-1. Now they're playing to avoid last place. That's how compressed every other division is besides the Central, where Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota have run away and hid.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 in the league.
Sent down low by Peake for Pastrnak, who has the only goal. Tried to center for Mitten. That was deflected. Pastrnak off the boards. That's going to be picked up by Zadorov. Then back to David Pastrnak. Zadorov will take it against Savoy. A shot rattles wide on a deflection. Rebound Peake. Picked up in front. Pastrnak one more time. Set up by Asimon, who now camps out in front. Pastrnak in tight. Minton. And Asimon can't create another chance. And this one turns into an icing call against Edmonton.
Well, David Pasternak's given his team a 1-0 lead in this one, and a lot of conversations. Hasn't gotten off to a tear, but he is climbing this ladder right here for most goals by Czechia-born players. Only one away now from Patrick Elias, and a long ways away from Jaromir Jagr, but he's making a dent in it, that's for sure, with his 407th career goal in this one so far tonight. A lot of pressure on Pastrnak, though. When you're in a losing streak and you're the top scorer, he's the one that everybody's looking to. Has been shuffled up and down lineup to try and balance out the scoring, maybe give him a little different.
Here's a chance for McDavid, streaking in. Backhander denied. Jeremy Swayman, he went to the same move he did shorthanded in Boston, and this time Swayman comes up with a save to keep his team in front.
That's exactly what he did. It was a shorthanded goal in the breakaway, and he went to the backhand and was able to wrap it around the left pad of Swayman. This time, nice little chop pass right here in the middle of the ice to send him in, and he is gone. Fake, and then wrap around, and this time Swayman was pretty quick to get this pad down and extend it all the way to the post. Didn't want to move because he didn't know exactly where that puck was, but he makes the save.
We showed you the replay where he scored about, 8 minutes ago. That one, Swayman makes the save, and McDavid having the kind of month that we've seen exactly one time in the last 30 years. Steven Stamkos did it back in 22. Prior to that, no one's got 33 points in a month since Mario did it exactly 30 years ago, December of 1995. Louis, I was forever 21 that year. Here's Podkolzin.
Another penalty for Boston.
Yes, second one. Delayed call coming. Sixth skater on is McDavid. Draisaitl locates him and drops it to Connor McDavid. Roslovic and Podkolzin in front of the net. Draisaitl bottled up by Lindholm. And the Oilers will reload here with 5.5 to play in the first period where they've been outshot 10-5. Roslovic walks in. Edmonton looking for the equalizer. Podkolzin curls it to McDavid back in front. And that was picked off by Lindholm. And now the Oilers to their second power play of the night. The Boston Bruins have a power play goal. What a setup for McDavid. Streaking in. Swayman. The denial. Oilers on the power play next.
Charlie McAvoy in the box for holding on Jack Roslovic. A nice job protecting the puck on McAvoy in the corner. And here it is here. And it's once he reaches that arm in, and then as he falls down, he just continues to hold on and drags Roslovic down. Not a whole lot Roslovic could do on that one. Good job to keep his feet moving.
Yeah, very similar to the one on Husnudinov that Hyman took earlier.
Yeah. And there's the power play for Edmonton. They have catapulted themselves up to the top position. Since November 29th, they have been on fire.
Draisaitl winning the faceoff, as we talked about, 44% coming in, 21 goals in their last 15, and an 8-game power play goal streak. Here's Draisaitl up to Bouchard, and now McDavid. Slide step to his left, and again, Kastelik plays it well. That's 2 on the kill thus far tonight, where Mark Kastelik has really stood out.
Yeah, he's really aggressive, and he's been aggressive on McDavid twice in that spot, and he's gotten away with it. McDavid's the kind of guy that can make you look silly if you're aggressive, but Kastelik, give him credit, maybe a trip on the first one, but that was a good stick check.
McDavid rolling up top, saucing across Bouchard. Tried to thread it through to Draisaitl, too much traffic. Minton got his stick on it. Here's McDavid, who was set up on that breakaway moments ago by Matthias Janmark, but here his pass deflected, and the Oilers need to reload here halfway through the penalty on McAvoy. Draisaitl to McDavid. Beats Lindholm to the net, denied by Swayman. And then the rebound cleared by Aspero. One-timer Bouchard, double redirection. Nugent Hopkins can't get there. McDavid walked right through Lindholm and Aspero. Now short side, a couple of bids by Draisaitl. Both stopped by Swayman. Was having a heck of a first period. McDavid had it knocked away. Got it back from Draisaitl. Curling it back to Leon Draisaitl. McDavid takes it to the hole. Up to Bouchard. Draisaitl, no one-timer this time. McDavid fanned, then shoveled it off the pads of Swayman and finally dug out and cleared by Aspero, who spent 6 years in the American Hockey League before finally making an NHL roster this season. Bruins withstand all that pressure. Savoy to Ekholm, shoveled around the boards. 2 shots credited to Edmonton on that power play. Here's Adam Henrique. The Oilers still trailing by a count of 1-0. Nurse mishandled. And now Kastelik, a little burst of speed down the right-hand side. Will take him to the hole. Shot off the pad. Smart play, but a big kick out by Ingram, trying to trigger an offensive attack the other way. Savoy out of the reach of Roslovic, reeled in by Pastrnak.
Channeling his Grant Fuhr there. Pounding that puck out aggressively.
That was. He was looking to trigger something. He nearly did. Emberson hogtied by Lori, and now Pastrnak on the counter. Fired it into the corner, and that gamble did not pay off. He was hoping Minton might be able to squeeze through, but no, it's icing against the Bruins.
Well, chances around Swayman here on this rush, and for McDavid, sometimes it's not the move, it's just putting a puck through. That's exactly what he does. He throws it back against the grain after the initial chance was stopped by Jeremy Swayman, looking to bounce it off similar to what Pastrnak did, and he just catches a piece of Swayman and rolls through the blue paint. Close.
Yeah, reminder, those are... Hampus Lindholm's played in this league a long time, and McDavid roared by him.
Well, sometimes you expect the move, and sometimes just letting the puck go through the move. I mean, I don't know how he does any of it at that speed, but he does.
Spencer Stastny. It's what separates him from other speedy players years gone by, the ability to handle that pocket top speed and continue to build it. Here's Podkolzin. Tried to drop it for Emberson. Nudged ahead. Oh, a sloppy turnover by Steves. But the Oilers can't cash in as Janmark a little behind Frederick with that offering.
A little high. Good pickoff, though.
Here's Frederick. Walking down low. Checked by McAvoy. Frederick, 6 years a Bruin. Chipped up the left-hand side. You've got Steves on to Lindholm. Gathering himself over the line. Victor Arvidsson. Poised and patient with the puck. Middlestad. Shot. Score! Set up by Arvidsson. And Casey Middlestad with his 9th of the year beating Ingram blocker side 2-0 Boston.
Transitional play. Some good work in the offensive zone by Edmonton. It's Lindholm, the defenseman, that's up on the rush. And for Arvidsson, he just buys a little time by bringing this puck back and catches Middlestad coming in aggressively. He jumps on the ice. This has got to be great. Never did do that myself, come off the bench and score. It must feel wonderful, though, to start your shoot that way. Get into the play, receive a pass, shoot the puck. 2-1 Boston over Edmonton here, and Middlestad buries that one short side.
Hampus, Lindholm, and Arvidsson with the helpers. And Boston has built a 2-0 lead here. Jeremy Swayman credited with 8 saves, but he's made a couple of absolutely clutch ones, including one on that man, Connor McDavid. And there's no player hotter in the league right now than Connor McDavid.
Well, you said it earlier, Jack, that for Swayman, he might need a game like this to get this team out of it.
McDavid again to the net, and that was chopped up and out by Hyman. Saucered across by McDavid, but the Oilers fail to finish.
Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Another good rush up the ice by Connor McDavid. A give and go. Nugent Hopkins finds it back onto his stick, and he just threads this through for Hyman. Get to the spot on time, and he's so good at this, getting the inside track. He thinks he's got it past Swayman, but elevates that one a little high as he looks to the sky himself to see that again. Good chance, though, created off that speedy attack.
Off the draw, Nugent Hopkins to McDavid, up top for Darnell Nurse. Coming up on minute to play. Here's a shot by Bouchard, dropped by Swayman. And he's able to cover. Swayman will spill a few, and there's one where he does, but was able to come back and stop Nugent Hopkins in front.
A little more of a presence here for Edmonton in front of him as well. He has dropped a few right in front of him, but it's been the Boston Bruins that have been able to clear the way. This is a good job by Hyman. Get yourself into the spot. You're out of the blue paint. Nothing they can really do. And watch Swayman have to battle over top to look at this one coming through. It hits him. I don't know if he knows it's coming, so he's just following it, makes the save, and is able to shovel it out of there with sticks everywhere.
Nugent Hopkins a tip, and then Hyman a little whack at it. Now you've got McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman out there who centers, and this time it's McDavid. Did that hit iron? Stayed out. McAvoy up to center and bangs it in deep. That was really close. Here's Nurse. Up to Bouchard, 45 seconds. Draisaitl to Hyman. McDavid in the middle, cuts to his left, to the net. What a move! Backdoor score! Zach Hyman finishes after brilliant balletic work from Connor McDavid.
Wow, unbelievable hands here by Connor McDavid. He has had the puck on a string to start this game. And just incredible, and it's the outlet. We talked about this. Get the puck up quick to the fours, let him go to work. The quick edges, the toe drag, stick handle around, another one, McAvoy, and then a backhand pass right onto the tape for Hyman. He's not going to miss this one. For Jeremy Swayman, he has to think that Connor McDavid might go back to the backhand once again. He does go to the backhand, but this time he gives it to Hyman for a tap-in, 2-1. What a play.
Sorry, I've never seen him play better. I realize that's a bold statement. He's never played better than December 2025. I refuse to believe he has.
He does so much work with the hands. Oh, here we go.
Draisaitl to the net, denied by by Swayman.
That went right through Mangiapane too,
chances.
Jeff. Good job to come back and take him away, not allow him to see that rebound. I believe it was a peak.
It's a big change from Boston's peak years. The Bruins will issue a lot of glorious chances.
That's what Edmonton has to realize. They're going to get their chances. It's about defending from this point on and looking for them the right way, but they're starting to turn it on. Much different game, a one-goal game than a two.
Pastrnak with a bid from a sharp angle that's stopped by Ingram with 5 seconds to go, and the Oilers do get one back. Hyman's 12th from McDavid at 19-19, and there you go, Louis.
Yep. You mentioned it, December 1995, it was Mario Lemieux the last time that 34 points were put up in a month. Well, Connor McDavid's in that company and still has 2 periods to build on that with that beautiful assist on Zach Hyman's goal to make it 2-1.
Put it in his all-time career bank, but Boston, and not Edmonton, has the lead after 1. Happy New Year from us at Sportsnet. 2-1 Bruins.
January 8th to 11th on Sportsnet.
Good, because I lost my debit card.
No worries. You can lock it with the TD app.
That's great.
All right, you can't fight City Hall, but you can skate there, and there'll be skating done at the 2026 Winter Classic outdoors in Miami this Friday as the defending champs from Florida host the New York Rangers. The stage is set for a spectacular show under the lights at 7:30 Eastern, 5:30 Mountain on Sportsnet. Louis and Jack, a pretty spectacular show under the lights here as well at Rogers Place.
I've been to that stadium for a few baseball games, never a hockey game. Certainly never thought I'd see a hockey game there. And Louis, let's just hope they draw a little bit better than the Marlins do. And we know they will. Here's a steal by Adam Henrique, and the Oilers look to answer right away with a shot that's swallowed up.
Boy, I thought the option for Frederick was right there immediately.
Yes.
Good pickoff. High in the slot once again. This line's been good tonight. We've created some chances in the offensive zone just from outworking Boston and funneling pucks to the right areas.
Regula, giveaway, gets it back at center, fires it in. Swayman to knock it down. Shoveled up the right-hand side for Victor Arvidsson. Hyman and McDavid lingering. Zadorov will shoot it in. Ekholm gets it back from Bouchard. From center, he'll go hard rim up on the glass. Will the Oilers in prematurely or a penalty? I'm maybe in front of you, Louis. It's against Boston.
Yep, it's going to be. Is it a high stick? Here's the quick chance right here, and now in hindsight, you've got Zadorov who's taken that pass away. By the way, he's like 6'6" and maybe 6'7" actually. So he has a longer reach than you think. But yes, it is a power play here for Edmonton coming up. So a quick start for them. It's Minton high sticking. An opportunity early on here on a fresh sheet of ice for Edmonton to try and move this around. And that head shake right there from young Minton says it all. You don't want to take too many penalties against Edmonton. This is their 3rd opportunity. They've killed off Boston, has the first 2.
Minute gone by in the second period. Oilers have a chance to get the game even. They've won their last 2 on New Year's Eve by scores of 7-2 and 4-1. McDavid gets it back from Draisaitl. It slid through to Nugent Hopkins, kicked up to Bouchard. Now McDavid centering pass, save on Hyman by Swayman, who's been sharp tonight. This is as good as Swayman's looked against Edmonton that I can remember. Draisaitl a shot blocked.
Big Zadorov.
Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl up top, Bouchard. Then back to Leon Draisaitl. Survey elected to keep it on his stick. Toward the net, McAvoy got a piece. Draisaitl fell down, clubbed down the right-hand side. Again, Kastelik able to get there first.
Yeah, he's been a real solid penalty killer here in this one for sure, and he has been all year for the Bruins. Tough. Well, banging some goals is going to provide that energy, but an excellent penalty killer. A few times he's made the play to get it down the ice.
Nugent Hopkins back to Bouchard. Open Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard swung it back. Nugent Hopkins feeds McDavid to the net. Poke checked away by Swayman. Hard rim and out by Lindholm.
Good decision by Lindholm, too, after that drive by McDavid right into the blue paint. Instead of trying to go back on the backhand side, he zips it across grain, and that goes down the ice 200 feet. If he would have gone the other way, Draisaitl and Bouchard were taking that away.
Exactly. They were overloaded. Here's Roslovic breaking in with a shot off the rush, and a save with still 25 seconds left on the Oiler man advantage. And remember, Roslovic scored from about that spot on Monday in Winnipeg.
Yeah, good shot, good save. Some heavy action here right out of the gates for Edmonton. They're bringing it to the net. Here's Hyman in front. I like this. Get the inside position, get the stick down. He kind of whacks the stick of Zadorov first to make sure that he doesn't get a piece of it. And then gets a good redirection. McDavid tries to drive this one right through. And strong on the stick was Peak, and then Swayman stands his ground.
Chipped up the boards and out by Savoy. Reload coming for the Edmonton Oilers. Savoy to Henry. 10 seconds on the power play as he hits the line for Roslovic. Now Savoy able to wrestle it free on his backhand, directs to Nurse. Power play over. Here's a deflected shot right to Roslovic. And this one he misses up high, carried off the plexi all the way into the Oilers zone. Trying to protect was Nurse. Run off the puck. Centering pass comes inside to Mitten. Can't make a play. And it's Savoy with a long toss to Nurse. Redirected back toward Pasternak. He'll carry it in. Usnadinov fills the lane. Cross seamer. Shot. And a save made on Aspero. And the puck eventually corralled by Connor Ingram.
Brick by brick, banner by banner. Coventry Homes, never done building. Proudly celebrating 50 years.
Matt Savoy with a nice defensive play, puts this across the Darnell Nurse as he tries to kick it to himself, just gets a little ahead of him, and it's a transitional play. Pasternak finds Aspero late, and he gets a pretty darn good shot here with a lot of traffic in front of Connor Ingram. He's got to make this save jumping in the middle. Was Minton, I believe.
Load up for the Bruins here, Louis, with Pasternak on Lindholm and Geekies. Yeah. This is interesting because, quite frankly, we didn't call Morgan Geeky's name a ton in that first period. So Pasternak coming out here, and maybe it's just a spot shift the way Edmonton does.
Trying to get something going here, right? After a penalty kill. Similar to what Edmonton does to load up, but just trying to get a little momentum back as they're sensing maybe Edmonton coming out in this second period has created a couple chances early. Drew the penalty, good penalty kill. Put the big boys on the ice.
Geeky got one shot off, takes another, and that was blocked. He's got the hardest shot in the NHL. It was timed more than 103 miles an hour this season.
Well, the thing you don't realize, too, if you don't know Morgan Geeky, he's a big kid. Like, he's a big guy. He has a big family. All the brothers are big. He's a big guy, and he just has a lot of weight behind that shot. It's technique, but he uses a lot of power, too, to generate that momentum on the shot.
Icing Boston.
And he's had it, Jack. You know, you and I had a long conversation before the game about Geeky. He's had this shot throughout his career. We've seen it in spurts on the other teams that he's played for, Carolina and Seattle. You know, you sometimes find a home and you take off, and that's what's happened for Morgan Geeky. Nobody has scored more goals in the year 2025 than Morgan Geeky during the regular season, 50. It's incredible.
Well, at least at the start of the night. McKinnon's gotten 2. He's got 52, but he has the most even strength goals. 40 as compared to McKinnon's 39.
There you go. Yeah.
Nurse to Bouchard. Sorry, we just got to keep the McKinnon counter. McKinnon and McDavid need their own counters.
But the fact you're talking about him in the same sense as Nathan McKinnon is outstanding, and good on him. Following up a 30-goal year last year.
McDavid a wraparound, and Lindholm might have saved something there as he had Draisaitl on the back door as Edmonton loads up here. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman. Bouchard to Draisaitl. Cross ice, that's deflected into the Oiler bench.
Well, here's the dynamic duo now with Geeky and Pasternak. 117 goals since 24-25. Second only to McDavid and Draisaitl. So that just goes to show you the scoring that they can put into the net, those two guys. And both right-handed shots. You know, you talk about one-timers, Jack. And Morgan Geeky, David Pasternak has even said that his one-timer is better than his. It's hard to believe because David Pasternak's one of the best one-timers in the league as well. but two of the best from that right side. Ovechkin would be in that mix. Stamkos is still there for me as well. Draisaitl for Edmonton's on the left-hand side, being a left-hander, right-hand side one-timers, but it's a dying art. You can rip that puck. There's always an opportunity you're going to get on a power play and be able to score.
Hampus Lindholm able to thread it through to Zacha. On to Arvidsson and backhanded. He was forced wide. However, he's drawn a penalty. Cross ice to Zacha, picked off by Mangiapane, but it will be a slash.
Good penalty to take, I think. He's tapping this one in. I mean, this is for Arvidsson. He's already got Ingram beat here. Again, a transitional play. Nice pass up the ice. It's knocked down partially, but still gets through, and then a beautiful feed by Zach over to Arvidsson. Little sauce pass right on the money. Yeah, I mean, he's wrapping that around. If he doesn't get whacked, it's Mangiapane that gives him the slash, or Bouchard, sorry.
So power play for the Bruins. 24% this year, 8th in the league. It's tailed off lately. But Pastrnak, of course, scored a power play goal in the first period to give the Bruins a 1-0 lead. Now it's 2-1 as Zacha steps in. Pastrnak tried to give it to Geekie, and that was picked off by Savoy. Bruins have given up 5 shorties this year. Here's Savoy to Henrique, one-timer, and a tricky save made by Swayman. That kind of rolled up his body and off.
Little knuckler change up there by Henrique on the draw pass by Savoy.
Lindholm on to Zacha. Now Pastrnak. A couple of years ago scored 61. First Bruin to do that since Phil Esposito. Geekie. Pastrnak a shot. Save. Ingram. Rebound was blocked. Geekie unable to get it through. Gives it up. Zacha. McAvoy. One-timer. Pastrnak. And that caromed off the glass. Geekie. McAvoy had it intercepted by Stastny. A good read and length of the ice clear.
Yeah, and he was stung on that shot block. Good job for him to tough it out, make the play down the ice, and he's going to look at his hand now on the bench beside me. That's where it hit him. Took the glove off immediately, but a good job to battle it out on the penalty kill by Stastny.
Min and Steves charge in from the left-hand side. Middlestat to Lindholm. Puts it into the opposite corner. McDavid looking for the home run, and that pass just missed him. Regula had the presence of mind. He was trying to find him. Hampus Lindholm. Back to Mint. Just 20 seconds now on the Boston power play. Bruins looking to extend the lead, but Savoy will jam it off the boards and out. Henrique bearing down on him. Swayman calmly will give it up for Hampus Lindholm. We talked about Swayman. If you don't have Pastrnak go off on a hat trick or 4-goal game, you're going to need your goaltender like Swayman to be the stopper. Here's a shot from distance that gets through Ingram. Arvidsson was at the side of the net, and I believe set a bit of a screen, but this should be Lindholm's goal to make it 3-1.
It looks like he's the first in the line, and he just kind of zipped this high wrister from a sharp angle.
Did Arvidsson take his eyes away?
I think he gets right in front of him. Look at this. He's looking one way. That puck's already en route. You can see Ingram looking to the right around Arvidsson. He's standing right in front of him. When he leans to the right to look for the puck, it's already on the way. Right now, that puck's already flying, finds the back of the net. That's why you go to the front of the net. You stop in front of the goaltender, you take his eyes away for that split second. He did not see the release from Lindholm, and credit him with a goal and assist now in this game. Points have been tough to come by for Lindholm as of late, but he just gets that puck to the net and beats Connor Ingram 3-1 Boston.
Just as the power play had come to an end, so I believe it's an even strength goal. And 3-1 Bruins. Lindholm up the right-hand side. Arvidsson will get a second assist, but the biggest thing he did on that goal was take the eyes away. Here's a chance for Kastelik, but dug out by Hyman, and now McDavid breaks free. Draisaitl's on the ice. McDavid tried to center it to Leon. It was tipped away and thrust back toward the Boston net by Ekholm, but the Bruins will jam it back in. Bouchard across, that's picked off by Kastelik. He's had a nice game tonight for the Bruins.
He took a couple penalties in Calgary a couple days ago, and You know, that's part of it. When you're aggressive, you're physical, you're going to take penalties, but he's been much more disciplined in this one and aggressive the same.
Protecting the puck. Steves drive from distance. That's wide from Lori. Kept down low by Andrew Peak. Boston Bruins back on top 3-1. Shot from a sharp angle. Ingram able to kick it out. Another steal. Steves redirected. Andrew Peak missed the net. Hyman did not get it out. Steves will skate right around him. Fed along off the side of the net. Kiki up top. Peak a shot. Net ricocheted wide. Kiki up top to Laura. 11:20 to go. Second period. 3-1 Bruins. Shot Pasternak. That deflected up top. Bruins have been in for nearly a minute, but now a steal by Hyman. A little hold. I'm not sure they called it. And Hyman, when he tried to feed McDavid, the pass was too much. I thought McDavid got held initially as they burst up ice.
Yeah, he kind of swam around Lori, and there was a little bit of a don't get out of the way accidentally on purpose to try and slow McDavid down, but he still was able to punch through, and I think that's probably why it's not called.
Here's Savoy in from the right-hand side. McAvoy able to chip it out. Stastny to Emberson. Janmark at the red, and that one struck McAvoy in the glove. Remember earlier, McAvoy was hit by a slap shot in the side of the face. That's why he's wearing the protective shield. Savoy flipped it across. Janmark drop pass for Roslovic. Carried down low, left in the corner. Savoy shot Stastny on net, and another save by Swayman. Flicked down low by Savoy. Roslovic trying to keep it against McAvoy. Breaks free. Has McAvoy in a bit of a spin cycle. Shot by Max Jones doesn't materialize, and here come the Bruins. Pasternak knocked off the puck. Zadorov puts it in deep. Long change for the Bruins in the second. They shuffle it. Lead pass. Picked up. Jones. Emerson advanced that puck quickly, and now Frederick trying to go to work. But Aspero erased that opportunity. Return pass from Lindholm to Zaka was intercepted, but Zaka got it right back. Middlestat stapled by Bouchard. Arvidsson trying to burrow his way through. Couldn't do it.
Pace is picked up here in the second.
Shot in by Aspero. Ingram to knock it down. Bouchard from Ekholm. The outlet to Adam Henrique. Mired in a 32-game dry spell in terms of goals. Did get an assist the other night in Winnipeg. Here's Arvidsson breaking in. Middlestat loading up. His shot tipped off the glass. Oilers 9-3-1 in their last 13 coming in. They'll be in first place, win, lose, or draw tonight, because Anaheim and Vegas already have lost. Bruins trying to snap a 6-game losing streak as Kastelik dumps it back in. Nurse to Ekholm. Turnover, Podkolzin. Shot Corrali, and that's gloved by Ingram with 8.5 to go in the second period. And Hampus Lindholm with a seeing eye shot. Little rough stuff here. Kastelik on the ice, no surprise. Immediately wrapped up by Nurse. Here's Lowry. Louis with a good call. That was accidentally on purpose.
To him in Boston, he said, "Can you help me sell my house?" He bought the house after signing with the Edmonton Oilers, and of course, when he was traded, he decided to sell his house. It went on the market early July. To this point, he hasn't had any serious offers or anyone who's willing to buy it. A beautiful place. You can go online to find out any details along with cost. I wanted to help him out, Louis and Jack, because he was caught between a rock and a Harbitson place.
Well, they've got a spot for you, Gene, out back. I saw that little house.
He's been a little banged up, Harbitson, this year. Injured 12 the last 20 games. But when he's been in there, Jack, he's provided some offense for the Bruins, and he's got 2 points in this one tonight already.
Now, not pictured, Louis, was the signed agreement that Gene obtained from Victor for half a point if he does sell the place.
Yeah.
Puck play on the high stick.
No matter McDavid's ambition, CIBC would have a personalized plan, just like we'll have a plan for you too. CIBC, proud partner of Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers.
Vasily Podkolzin, quiet 5 games by comparison for him. He had really heated up. At one point with 5 goals in 7 games. Hasn't been on the sheet in the last 5. He and Leon Draisaitl out there for a neutral zone draw. 3-1 Boston. Bruins are not a team that rallies, so they need to be in front as Nurse's shot redirected up and out of play. They're 0-15 when they trail after 2.
A little extra here, Minton and Mangiapane. Pretty good whack as everybody comes together. It's been a pretty tame game between these two teams.
For now.
For now, as it is, a little bump in here, Pasternak with Mangiapane, and then you're going to see him kind of come in and get tangled up, a little elbow in the face, and that's why Minton with a pretty good chop to the midsection. And then Mangiapane, healthy scratch last game, just trying to, get his team into the game right now. I don't mind this from Mangiapane. They need a little spark right now. They need something to get going, down 3-1.
And again, reinserted into the lineup in a position theoretically where he can succeed on Draisaitl's wing.
I think that's when Mangiapane's playing his best anyway, is when he's out there and doing things like that. When we're talking about him getting into scrums, bumping into people, that to me tells me his mind's in the right place and he's just activated. And he's a really effective player when he does that throughout his career, because he is a fast player and he's a skilled player. But when he does a little extra like that, just seems to get him into the game a little bit more.
Draisaitl tried to hit him, but this is an icing call. When I talked to him this morning about the scratch, obviously not pleased what veteran would be. But he did say, I've got to be a little more tenacious out there. And now Pasternak is coming over. He's starting to get underneath everyone's skin.
That's it. When you get the top player on the opposition to come over and have a conversation, a little strange fall there by Charlie McAvoy. He's had just a rash of injuries in the last few years and some real tough ones. Always a competitor gets up and gets to the bench, but Pasternak skated right over and had a few extra words with Mangiapane.
Pasternak, as we saw a couple years ago in the playoffs when he dropped him with Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, he'll fill any role he needs to, especially in this edition of the Bruins.
I could talk about this. On the dad's trip, we were at the back of the plane. And we were in the section with Pavel Zacha, Pasternak, and a few other guys, and he was like, he wants to get into a fight, he said. He goes, I want to get in a fight, and he was asking me for some pointers on the plane. I'm like, Pasta, stick to scoring goals. Would you love that fight? When a guy like him steps up in the playoffs and plays Matthew Tkachuk.
Geekie, a big hit and took a slash from McDavid and got away with it. Wow. Geekie, a big hit on McDavid, who slashed him hard and got away with it. Excuse me, Louis, at one end.
No.
Here's McDavid. In other words, the chippiness is ratcheted up, I think, on both sides and affecting both teams' top players.
Well, and this is an opportunity, right? Dig in.
Here's Ekholm. McDavid got his money's worth there. Here's McDavid trying to power his way through it. Shot by Hyman. And that stays out, and we've got a penalty coming again against Boston as the Bruins continue to give the Oilers looks on the power play.
We didn't like the hit, that's for sure. Here's the hit by Geekie. It's a good follow through. Comes down with a pretty good chop in the hand of Morgan Geekie. Gives him a little shot afterwards. They would battle all the way back. But Edmonton will be going on the power play when we come back. The penalty. Bose is a little bit of flesh there, and he kind of, this is the slash he gets called for. And again, this one's in the... So... you could say McDavid got away with one, Geekie didn't.
And now the Oilers gifted a 4th power play. Geekie obviously irritated by the non-call, takes a penalty. Bouchard able to hold that puck in at the line. Great zone keep. McDavid to Draisaitl, saucered in front, looking for Nugent Hopkins. Maybe a little too much air under that one. Hyman to Bouchard, on to McDavid. Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard. Draisaitl one-timer, and that stayed out. Rebound, eludes McDavid. Did Bouchard keep it in? No. McDavid jitterbugging his way back in, but I don't think Hyman got out in time.
No, he tried, but McDavid just, when he recognizes a little hole similar to a running back, he saw a little spot that he could get through there. And he did get through, actually, but it was offside. Here's the chance here. This one's up in the air, and you can see Nugent Hopkins trying to bat that one into the net. This pass goes through Hyman, so a little bit of a decoy. Elects not to shoot it, and threads that one down to Draisaitl for that sharp angle one-timer. Face off to the outside. It's amazing, though, eh? He kind of comes across that line, and you could just see his eyes kind of light up. There was a little light of day, and once there's a gap, he'll take it. He just goes.
Bouchard had it whacked away by Minton. Wristed down deep by McAvoy.
Well, you got to credit the Bruins here penalty killing. They've done everything right. Goaltender's made the saves when he's needed to. They've defended well.
Here's McDavid shooting low, and a save made on Swayman. McDavid darts around one man. Swept off the stick by Corrali. And then when the return pass came to McDavid, Corrali was ready and fired it right off the boards in front of the Oiler bench. The Bruins get it changed. The Oilers' top unit stays on for the final half minute.
It's getting to that stage of the game now where they have to try and make something happen here.
McDavid bumped off the puck, cleared by Minton. And that, I think, is going to do it for the top unit. 5 minutes to go, second period, and the Bruins have come into Edmonton and erased 4 power plays for the Oilers.
3-1 win on December 18th, and for Marco Sturm, he said the special teams were the difference. Shorthanded goal and a power play goal by Edmonton. Although Boston did get a power play goal themselves, it was Pavel Zacha that tied the game 1-1. It was the shorthanded goal by McDavid that put the icing on the cake in that game.
So with the Bruins back at full strength and leading 3-1, despite being outshot tonight. Lindholm, rink wide, Zacha. Flipped it back in. Pasternak had it hacked away. Geekie was there to control. Nifty pass to Zacha. Threw it across. Lowrod pounds it toward the net. That missed. Came off the plexi. Aspero flung it down low to Zacha. Now Pasternak. Zacha. Pasternak, one-timer from distance, blocked by Henry. Zacha again inside to Pasternak, stripped to the puck. Hard hit on Roslovic, delivered by Geekie, but the Oilers muster a clear back to center. Aspero takes a peek, whistles one in deep, off of Ingram's stick. Zacha, bang into a hard check by Nurse. Pasternak tried to put it into an area where he'd get a redirect and in. Zacha, then back in front for Pasternak, McAvoy. Nurse. Roslovic was stapled. Geekie comes over. Forced loose. Big hit by Frederick on McAvoy. No question the physicality has elevated here in this second period. And remember, it's the second game in 2 weeks. So a little bit of animosity bound to creep in with 3 minutes to go.
Haven't forgotten about one another when you play that quickly. I know they only see each other twice a year, but it's been in quick succession.
Well, we saw it when Edmonton played Columbus twice in 4 days.
Yeah.
Got a little nasty in game 2. McAvoy was the door off.
Make up for the Bruins, too. They're a team that have kind of gone back to being the big bad Bruins again. Tanner Jeannot still out. This in the last 3 games now.
Shot by Lindholm. A sprawling save made by Ingram. And he's able to freeze it before Arvidsson has a legitimate shot at it. Boston on New Year's Eve with a 3-1 lead in Edmonton. Connor Ingram tested.
Brilliant mind.
They're
having trouble scoring.
David literally has had this puck on a string for most of the night, and he made some terrific saves in alone. This one here again denies McDavid in the slot. You look at those high-quality chances for number 97. He has a primary assist on the 1 goal they scored, Zach Hyman, but that could be a much different game if it wasn't for number 1 in between the pipes of the Boston Bruins. And you said it, Jack. You called it early. He was going to have one of those performances if Boston wants any chance of winning this game. Well, so far he's had that performance.
Well, right now, I mean, Pasternak is not at his elite best. Geekie has cooled off a little bit. So when you're having trouble scoring, and the Bruins had scored 11 in their last 6, it falls to the goaltender. And Louis, I know you played on teams like that without, superstars going. You need your goaltender to steal you one sometimes.
Yeah, and they're gripping the sticks a little bit too. I mean, this is 3 goals. They scored all of 2 in the last 2 games, Boston, against the Buffalo Sabres and the Flames. So, it was kind of one of those games where I think that those saves early on by Swayman just gave them some life. And then the puck goes in the net for them, and now they're feeling it. And they're going to be a much more difficult team to come back on now because they're skating and moving. But Edmonton's got to work for it. It's only a 2-goal lead.
Draisaitl tried to hit Nurse. The puck was in his feet. 2-on-1 for Boston. Pastrnak walks in. Drag move. Then tried to feed. Shot in! Aspero! His second NHL goal! And the Bruins extend to a 4-1 lead. Jonathan Aspero, who had never played in the NHL prior to this season, 6 years in the American League, bangs in the 4-1 goal.
Yeah, into the zone. It looked like Edmonton had possession, and then here it is right here. This pass over Nurse isn't handled well. It's a good step up by Aspero, and that's what it is. It's that pressure once again. He steps up, strips the puck. It's a 3-on-1 coming back the other way, and the patience and poise of David Pastrnak. Toe drag, toe drag, toe drag, and then eventually, look at the save by Ingram, though. He gets a piece of this puck right here with the tip of his pad, but Aspero's the one that's in that position to jam it home. 4-1 Boston as he follows up the play. He's the one that made the defensive play to turn it over. He's the one that puts the puck in the net.
And I said earlier, Pastrnak has not been at his elite best lately. But Louis, he's made plays tonight. Bustandinov to the middle. Taken away from a potential chance for Pastrnak. Nugent Hopkins works it up the right-hand side. Oilers are going to have to counter here. 1:15 to go in the second period. Boston has built a 4-1 lead. McDavid beats Zadorov to the net. Save made by Seaman. Again denying McDavid.
McDavid staying down here.
Only briefly, it appears. While we have this pause, let's go to Gene Principe.
Okay, real quick, Jack. Don't miss your chance to get in on tonight's New Year's Eve Feeding Oil Country 50-50 presented by Rogers in support of Second Harvest. Not 1, but 2, 3 draws time. Main jackpot already over $1 million. A holiday bonus jackpot closing in on $1 million. And tonight is also your last chance to get your pick to win tickets. So get your tickets now before it's too late at EdmontonOilers.com/50-50.
Connor McDavid once again in alone, but Zadorov does enough with that reach to force him to get a little tighter, I think, to Swayman than he wants to. Fends off that stick and gets stuffed out. Did stay down for a brief second, and it looked a little scary at first, but he gets up and shakes it off and stays on the ice.
Well, you and the rest of the Edmonton community collectively holding the breath a little bit. Here's Bouchard down the middle with a shot that's tipped. And that one just got over the glass with 49 seconds to go in the period.
Well, hey, now this isn't just about Edmonton. This is about Canada, too.
I knew there was an ulterior motive.
Yeah, but you know what? He's never been afraid to drive that puck to the net. It's incredible to me, the courage that he has to do that with the speed that he's going. And he was in really tight. And for Swayman, he does the right thing. I mean, he's very good low, so he just kind of gets those pads in tight and more or less just expects if he's going to get run into, he is. And there wasn't a collision on that drive, but McDavid's been in at least 5 times in the blue paint with the puck on his stick in this game.
Jeremy Swayman has been first star for me tonight. And his save total isn't whopping, but he's had some good looks against him. And that's what this Bruins team is. It's different from their peak teams. They give up a lot of glorious chances. That fancy stat Louis and I sometimes allude to, the expected goals against, is the most in the league. We're talking about the Boston Bruins. McDavid to Draisaitl, 25th in the league goals against coming in, real goals. Here's McDavid with Draisaitl being checked in the corner, forced back to Ekholm. Bouchard still with 15 seconds. Ekholm, Draisaitl one touch. Getting a stick on it was Lindholm. Hyman ridden off the puck. Ekholm maintains the zone, but now the delivery from Hampus Lindholm to Steves. This is offside. Steves backs off. No whistle, just a horn. And the Edmonton Oilers find themselves trailing 4-1 on home ice against the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, call it opportunistic, but I think they're feeling a little bit of life after scoring only 2 goals in the last 2 games, have 4 in this one versus Edmonton. And you said it, Jack, the big boys are coming to play. For Pasternak, he's been his old self in this one. 4-1 Bruins.
But Louis mentioned McDavid, as it relates to Team Canada, will be talking with Team Canada's assistant GM and the general manager of a happy man right now. General manager for the Boston Bruins, Don Sweeney, is our guest with Gene Prince next on Sportsnet. When they lead after 2, only 1 blemish, Louis. I mentioned they're the only team in the league without a point when they trail after 2. Well, they're 16-0-1 with a lead after 2. Roslovic breaks free. He's in denied by Swayman. He's been doing it all night. Swayman with a glove save to Rob Roslovic. 8 seconds into the third.
Boy, that happened fast.
Well, the Bruins, again, they spill chances. Here's Swayman covering up. This is not the recent vintage Bruins. They will give these kind of looks. Point when they trail after 2.
Set here, you've got Podkolzin and Roslovic playing opposite sides, but for Roslovic, he goes around the world, receives this puck, and just walks right through everyone, tries to elevate this one on the glove hand side, and standing his ground once again is Jeremy Swayman. As you mentioned, Jack, he has made 6 now in close like that and on mano-a-mano chances,
and 3 or 4 on McDavid.
Hasn't been beat mano-a-mano.
Bouchard keeps it in for Draisaitl. Roslovic taken away. Roslovic got a little piece. Bruins wanted a penalty. Aspero streaking for the net, and his backhand cross-seamer intended for Elias Lindholm dies. And now it's a 3-on-1 all of a sudden for Edmonton. Draisaitl denied by Swayman. And again, just what Louis was saying, 1-on-1, Swayman's been perfect. Here's Spencer Stastny, beautiful skating, tried to feed in front, but Colson swing and a miss. Nurse little spin move on Alex Steeves. Marco Sturm will not be happy with the leakage shown by Boston to start this third period with a 4-1 lead. Steeves will get it in deep. On the first play, Zadorov went way wide and allowed Roslovic to burst down the slot. Swayman bailed him out and then stopped Draisaitl moments later. Shot from distance, Mitten, that was redirected. Now Pasternak, who's been at or near the top of his game tonight. He's had a good one. Power play goal in the first.
They've had some good shifts in the offensive zone where they've just been able to hem in Edmonton.
Again, he's playing with Minton and Husnudinov. It's a long way from the perfection line, but Louis, you pointed out Pasternak made an interesting comment about that line, how he had to clue off of them.
Absolutely. You know, he had to make sure that he was doing the things right with both Bergeron and Marchand when he played back in the day with them. That was such a dynamic line. Had all the ingredients and why they were one of the best, if not the best, in the game. But he can play with anybody. That's the thing. That's the one thing Pasternak is so good at, is he reads. Here's a chance.
Ekholm shot. Again stopped by Swayman. The rebound still loose. And they're keeping the play moving. And Swayman saying, I've got it. And he finally gets the whistle. He's been brilliant.
This period brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of no payments, no interest for 1 year.
There's that 3-on-1 that developed for Edmonton, and for Leon Draisaitl elects to shoot this one. And a lot of times here for a guy in that close, here's the next chance by Ekholm, who gets a pretty good look right down Main Street, bringing it from backhand to forehand. For Draisaitl, goes short side. A lot of times when you have a guy driving the net, you're going to go far side looking for that shot, rebound, pass off the pad. Not Draisaitl. Good job by Swayman to read it.
Hyman with the puck returned to him by Ekholm. On a line with McDavid, who just plowed his way right through Sean Corrali. Second stint with the Bruins for Corrali, but the cross-ice delivery to Bouchard chases the Oilers out of the zone, and now Zadorov wisely is going to milk some clock here. 3 minutes gone by in the third period, and I can tell you, Marco Sturm is hoping they won't be as eventful as the rest of the way over the next 17 minutes, or he's going to have gray hair by the end. Got a fierce battle in the corner. Mittelstadt kicks it out for Hampus Lindholm. Arvidsson goes right to the front of the net, getting worked over by Ty Emberson. Arvidsson hovering close by as Middlestat and Zacha trying to hem Emberson in. It's reversed, and a high floater by Stastny is finally punched through by Savoie. East-west looking for Hampus Lindholm. It's not there, and now Emberson will take a skate as the Oilers make a line change. Draisaitl, Roslovic, and Podkolzin reunited. So Roslovic moving up from third-line center to second-line winger, where he got off to a tremendous start with Draisaitl. Here's a turnover, but the Bruins again able to get out of it. Andrew Peeke up the left-hand side. Lindholm across. Shot Geekie. And a blocker save made by Connor Ingram on Geekie's best chance of the night.
Yeah, tried to go short side high.
This, I thought, was close to offside. Geekie gives it up and shot through Ingram and in. Elias Lindholm, who always seems to score against Edmonton, makes it 5-1.
Quick release on this one-timer. Geekie gets taken down. It looked like almost a trip into the zone. And Lindholm, who's the third one into the zone, is the one that's going to get this puck in one time at home. A little bit of a bad
I think
pass.
This is offside. At live speed, it looked close.
He drags that leg. That's why he fell down. I didn't realize why Geekie was kind of in that position, but that's why. He's dragging that skate really close to offside.
Great play.
Really close.
That's why I said it, Louis. I thought that was tight. But Elias Lindholm, that's now 23 goals in 42 career regular season games against Edmonton. And you said it, Louis, the play by Geekie to keep himself onside, spectacular.
I mean, almost pulled the groin in the process, but that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know when you're right on that line. And a great one-timer by Lindholm to finish it off. Steves was the one that was carrying that puck over the line. 5-1 Boston.
Minton hits the Edmonton line. Now Bouchard up the right-hand side for Hyman, taken off his stick by Zadorov. Curls his way into traffic, but got it through Connor McDavid. Elias Lindholm with his 6th goal in 31 games this year. Nugent Hopkins to Ekholm. And Lindholm, remember, was the trigger man on that great Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Tkachuk line in Calgary 4 years ago. Shot Bouchard into the stick of Nugent Hopkins, but not toward the net. Bouchard gets it back. Chopped down by Pastrnak. Another penalty, and Boston continues to dance with another.
Play Safeway My NHL Picks weekly for your chance to score all season long. You could even win an NHL getaway for you and your family. Download the Safeway app to start playing today.
Pasternak's going to go to the box. 2 minutes for tripping here as he chops through the skates of Bouchard, and then Zadorov fires the puck into the down Bouchard. But the Edmonton bench wasn't too happy about it. They thought it could have easily been another one, as McDavid's talking at length here with Trevor Hansen, one of the officials in tonight's game, saying, why wasn't that a penalty? I mean, he literally fired the puck at a guy that was down the ice. So here it is, and then Zadorov, watch this. That isn't accidentally on purpose. Now, that's not a hard shot, but still, you're throwing a puck to a down player. Easily could have caught him under the visor. No question that could have been a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. Missed. Power play, Edmonton.
5 power plays for the Oilers. They haven't converted any. And, Louis, the way Swayman's playing, I'm going to say it might be game, set, match if the Oilers don't convert this one at 5-1.
I would agree.
Face-off won by Kastelik. Hard rim. Draisaitl does well to keep it in, but Corrali muscled it out, and here comes Mark Kastelik. Great shot denied by Ingram. Kastelik has been a terror short-handed all night. He has been terrific.
Good save by Ingram. I mean, he picked far side there.
Look at that play Kastelik just made on McDavid to slow the Oilers down. McDavid.
He's a rangy guy, right? He's got that long stick. He uses it well as far as defending. He gets it in there, and he's broken up plays on the entries.
McDavid from Bouchard. Peering inside. Bouchard showing one-timer. Gives it back to McDavid. One-timer. Draisaitl on a save made by Jeremy Swayman, who has 29 of them tonight. And a length of the ice clear, and frustration mounting for Edmonton as we go inside. 14 minutes to play. McDavid the entry for Leon Draisaitl. Back to Evan Bouchard, across to McDavid, who's got 7 power play goals this year. Amongst his 24, which was 4th in the league coming in. Draisaitl. Bouchard. Minton and Husnudinov up top. Bouchard. Draisaitl. Crowd getting restless. A shot stays out. Rebound side of the net. And finally grabbed by Husnudinov. He'll try to skate it out. Despite being harassed by Nugent Hopkins, he gets it in deep. And the top unit will change with 30 seconds to go in the power play. Bouchard back to Matt Savoy. Adam Henrique hits the line. Across to Matthias Ekholm. Challenged by Kastelik. Interior pass stolen and cleared by Elias Lindholm, who moments ago powered one through Connor Ingram. He's made it 5-1, and the Bruins have just made it 5 for 5 on the kill tonight, and now it becomes a really tall order.
Yeah, give him a lot of credit.
Roslovic, a shot. Score! Fooled Swayman, 5-2. Don't go away yet.
Kind of like the goal he scored in Winnipeg. It's a sneaky shot, and he doesn't really load it up too much. It's almost like he just kind of flexes the stick and gets it en route. Not looking, it's already on its way, and that's where he catches Swayman. Doesn't ever look at him here. He's looking past, and then he never really looks like he's going to shoot this puck. And it's that mid-height shot. Up over the pad under the blocker. It was over the pad under the glove of Hellebuck in Winnipeg. A little bit of life for Edmonton here with some time on the clock. Still a tall mountain to climb, but they're going to push for it.
And after seeing what Swayman's done tonight, Louis, doesn't Edmonton's ears perk up a little bit when that one goes in?
Well, I think it also lets you know that sometimes it doesn't have to be a perfect shot to score a goal. It's the quickness of the release. Sometimes don't tell it, get it there, get screens in front of them. You never know. If they get the next one, it's game on.
Remember the Oilers against Swayman on home ice a few years back, trailed by 3 and got it to overtime before falling 6-5. And Swayman started spilling rebounds in that game.
But a great job by Roslovic not to sell shot the whole way down that wall on the entry. He had time to walk down deep and then just kind of let her go without really looking at Swayman. And Swayman, you could tell, was thinking this pass is going to the middle. Then it's in the back of the net.
Nurse looking for Draisaitl down low. Won a battle. Couldn't get a shot away, though. And Zadorov with the puck will launch. I think this is too far. This is going to be icing against the Bruins with 11:40 to go. And life for Edmonton.
Play Alberta's biggest offer ever is here. Sign up today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Draisaitl directing traffic out there with Podkolzin and Roslovic. By the way, on Roslovic's 12th goal, not only Darnell Nurse, but Connor Ingram gets an assist. Draisaitl wins the faceoff. Nurse a shot eaten up by Swayman. Save number 30 on the night, and it's still 5-2. Well, the Oilers have gotten one back, but they're in a deep hole on New Year's Eve at Rogers Place. Tonight's major part of the game brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Parts that make the difference. That's Napa know-how.
Well, Jack, you said early on in this game that for the Boston Bruins to win this one, they're going to have an excellent performance by Jeremy Swayman. He's denied McDavid multiple times in this game from in tight. He's denied anybody mano-a-mano aside from the one we just saw Roslovic score from a sharp angle, and he fooled him on that one. He hasn't been fooled often in this one. He's been fantastic in the difference.
A clear by McAvoy up the right-hand side, and Nurse sends one out of play. Darnell Nurse picking up an assist moments ago on the one that Swayman would probably love to have back, but outside of that, a superlative effort tonight with 30 saves.
Yeah, I just got maybe a little bit caught kind of leaning off the post a little bit. Again, just a nice little fake job by Roslovic to not sell shot the whole way in. And for Edmonton, though, right now with the clock dwindling down by 3, need to find some more opportunities on Jeremy Swayman.
He knew he'd deliver a hearty effort tonight. He's in Alaska.
Yeah, there you go. He likes the cold.
Zadorov up the right-hand side, although, boy, when I was walking the dog last night, I felt like I was in a ski lodge. It was gorgeous last night. Warmed up here in Edmonton. Don't believe everything you hear. Roslovic trying to hit Podkolzin. Kneecapped over to McAvoy. And the Bruins just trying to play a little keep away and slow any potential budding momentum for Edmonton. Draisaitl to Ekholm squeezing his way down the slot. Draisaitl from distance now, trying to locate Roslovic with McAvoy draped all over him. Roslovic shook free. Beautiful look for Evan Bouchard. Didn't catch that pass cleanly. Back to Roslovic. Draisaitl one-timer and a save made. Roslovic's got it on a string tonight.
Yep, he threaded that one right through diagonally to Draisaitl. Nice one-timer, and for Swayman, he got over just enough to get that one with the pad.
Corralling. Does seem at times like the Bruins refuse to be content with prosperity in terms of the chances they give away.
It's a good point. You know, and I mean, listen, sometimes in the offensive zone for Edmonton, they can create out of nothing, and you just saw it there. Some good movement. Draisaitl back to the blue line, back to his spot, exchanging with Ekholm. But it's the turnovers for me for Boston. Like right now, everything needs to go deep for them to try and close out a game. And Edmonton, when they can, needs to push pretty hard here on the transitional plays. But Swayman, again, with a pretty good save here. This is the pass you're talking about for Roslovic. Hesitation, little flare by Draisaitl, and just gets over to that post. I mean, there's a lot of confusion there. Big Zadorov's in the way, and it goes right through him. But look at that left pad through the legs of Zadorov. That was labeled back of the net. Excellent save.
Swayman's given Boston the kind of start that Winnipeg ran into on Monday night. I don't think this is another unforced error. Arvidsson didn't get to the red line. Back-to-back icing calls against the Bruins veterans.
Century Casino. All in, all games, all season. Century Casino. Great locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile Racetrack. Welcome to the Winner's Zone.
Swayman not getting a lot of help. Both Hampus Lindholm and Victor Arvidsson with a couple of unforced errors there, but Middlestat is able to win the face-off. Lindholm to Zacha, back through center, and now it'll get in. Middlestat heads to the net, dishes, one-timer at Arvidsson. Did Bouchard block that? Or did Ingram get across?
I didn't think it made it to the net, but it was hard to tell.
Yes. Arvidsson thought it was going in. He'll take it hard to the net and had it poke checked away by the long reach of Darnell Nurse. Arvidsson back on it. You know, he's dearly loved to score against a team that, for Arvidsson at least, it didn't quite work out for him last year. He did get 15 goals. Here's Lindholm from Middlestat, backdoor, and Middlestat did not control that pass. Otherwise, it's 6-2 and game over. Hampus Lindholm to Pastrnak. Feathered back toward the point, but sneaking in there is Max Jones, and he'll carry it to the Boston line. Trying to fight his way through heavy traffic. Middlestat will leave it for Lorei. Calling for the puck is Hampus Lindholm, but Henrique's on him. So Lindholm has to return it back behind that. Lorei got blasted by Frederick. Good shift for the fourth line, but Pastrnak is just going to scoop this one over toward his bench to alleviate the pressure. Stastny up the right-hand side. Andrew Peak there to snuff it out. 8 minutes remaining. The Bruins just trying to settle this game down, but another turnover in the neutral zone. Shot! And a save on Mangiapane. Swayman again covering up for a mistake, and he pins that to his right ribs. The play moments ago, Middlestat across, and it was Evan Bouchard with a posterior block. Tonight's hit of the game brought to you by James H. Brown Accident Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters in injury law.
Darnell Nurse with a good check here on Pavel Zacha. That's how you stop the cycle down low, body to body, almost a little Rob Blake-ish there as he turns. Not a whole lot of space to move forward on that one. Zacha, no worse for wear, pops up after that hit. It's been chippy at times, this one.
Oh, yeah. And not surprising considering, as you pointed out, the Bruins' revised makeup.
Yeah.
which, again, a couple weeks ago, they were 20-14 and playing for first place. Tonight, they came into Edmonton hoping to stay out of last.
Getting back to their identity.
And they're 8 minutes away from doing it. Roslovic wins a faceoff for Draisaitl. Across, and Ekholm delivered a pass and a shot from distance. Draisaitl. You don't see too many 45-footers from Draisaitl, but Swayman had to make a tricky save.
Couple of them back there from him.
Yes. Roslovic to put Colson. And as you know, Louis, we can go maybe a month without seeing Draisaitl shoot from there.
Well, he kind of gets that. You know, he cocks it back, and he can do two things. He can hard pass it or shoot it, and he's really good, obviously, at getting it through. Both have found their mark.
50 play by Zadorov triggers Hustendinov. Corrali gives a shot. Good save made by Connor Ingram. Here's Gene.
Jack, this is your last chance to get in on tonight's triple jackpot draw, New Year's Eve, feeding oil country 50-50, presented by Rogers in support of Second Harvest. The main jackpot is currently, well, you see what it's at. The holiday bonus jackpot is just short of $1 million. And tonight also your last chance to get your pick to win tickets. So get your tickets now before it's too late at edmontonoilers.com/5050.
Connor Ingram making his fourth start for the Edmonton Oilers. Again, no real update on Tristan Jarry at this juncture. Calvin Pickard with 41 saves on Monday night against Winnipeg. This is an offside against Boston. It matched his career best. Remember, he had 41 in Pittsburgh when they took him out for a minute and a half. The spotter prevented the official shutout.
And he had to be good in that one, too. And he was.
Yes.
He was perfect.
And he was excellent in a game where the Oilers were outplayed on Monday night in Winnipeg, but the Jets can't buy one right now. They lost again tonight 2-1. And they've gone from the President's Trophy winners to dead last in a year. Half a year. Nurse to Regula, up the right-hand side. McDavid and Hyman. I have a feeling those veterans are not going to let the Jets just fade away, though. I think they've got one more push in. Clear by the Oilers through the neutral zone. Here in this game, Edmonton's going to need Boston to make a mistake or two down the stretch to get back into it. Lindholm coughs it up at center, tossed in by Emberson. Hit hard by Aspero. And that enables Middlestad to launch one up to Victor Arvidsson. Had it pried free by Max Jones. Good play. Trent Frederick against Middlestad, who guides it off his stick. Pika hard up to the right-hand side, and Zaka managed to get it out. Emberson. Adam Henrique. Frederick had it shaken free. This is the midway point for both clubs. Half a season will be complete when tonight ends. Game 41 for both teams. And it's the last 82-game season we're going to have for a while, Louis.
Yeah.
Next year it'll be 84.
This half a season.
Hoisted in, and Swayman's going to squeeze against Matthias Janmark with 5:39 on the game clock. And the Oiler fans hope for a rollicking New Year's Eve. Instead, they might be a little sleepy.
Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada, live from Moncton, New Brunswick.
Every Canadian team hits the ice. Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada, January 17th. Watch it on Sportsnet or stream it on Sportsnet Plus. The Royal Players Championship, January 8th to 11th on Sportsnet.
And you know what? You said it. He needed a performance like this in a 6-game losing streak coming into this game tonight versus Edmonton.
Tonight's Closer Look brought to you by Specsavers. Don't miss a play. Keep your eyes healthy with regular eye exams, including OCT.
Well, it's not for the lack of trying for the Edmonton Oilers. They've had some terrific chances against the Boston Bruins, and Jeremy Swayman's just been too good in this one. And you know what? You said it. He needed a performance like this in a 6-game losing streak coming into this game tonight versus Edmonton. A monumental effort, and they have tested him from all areas, in front of the net, screenshots. McDavid's been alone 4 or 5 times in this game that he's been in the blue paint with the puck on his stick.
Hustendinov off the draw. Again, the Bruins get it out against the McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman loaded up line and almost get a great chance. Midden gives it up and Pasternak slams the door. Beating Ingram for the second time tonight. He's got a 3-point evening, and Boston Boston sends many fans to the exits by making it 6-2.
Yeah, a lot of conversation. I was looking to my left here, and you saw Pasternak talking with Minton on the bench, and Husnudinov, and these guys are excited to be playing with number 88. And similar to Edmonton, when McDavid has different wingers and guys get a chance and an opportunity to play, this Minton kid, I think, is going to be good for them. Nice job here to corral this puck and then puts it right on a tee for Pasternak. He rips that one home. But as you mentioned, it was the defensive play first, and this is something that Marco Stern talked about. If we play solid D, we get the puck out of our zone, good things will happen offensively. 6-2 now, Boston. Pasternak with 3 points, 2 goals, and an assist in this one.
Okay, let me backtrack a bit. Sometimes to break a winning streak, you need your superstar and your goaltender.
Yeah, there you go.
And tonight, David Pasternak has been a superstar. Nurse. He's not had, for him, again, by his standards, and he's a point-per-game guy. It's not like he's had a terrible first half, but he's been a little quiet. Not tonight. He's been terrific, and so is Swayman. Nugent Hopkins trying to feather one through. Swayman will guide one into the corner with less than 5 minutes to go. Pasternak, 2 goals tonight, 17 on the season. And as Louis talked about, Fraser Minton was the one that put it right in the wheelhouse, and that one had some heat on it.
Yeah, he buried that one.
And give Husnudinov credit.
Yep, the energy on the shift, right?
Corrali tried to sneak it inside, and he was the one who punched it away from Bouchard to get Edmonton's top line out of their own end to start with. Castellic hard to the net, short side, and that stayed out. Held in by Aspero. You mentioned Minton. I mean, Husnudinov another guy we first heard about in Minnesota. Here's a one-timer Aspero and a good find by Ingram through traffic. And by the way, that Pasternak goal puts him ahead of ties him with Patrick Elias on the all-time Czechia-born players with 418. Yager's a mile away at 766. This frustration has been mounting for Edmonton.
Yeah, a little extra after the whistle here, and they're having a hard time separating guys. Pretty good shot by Castellic into the grill of Ekholm. And they'll be definitely dishing out some penalties in this one. Yep. Well, David Pasternak continues to climb here in 2025. There'll be some extra conversation right in front of me here. But look at that board right there. Pasternak, 112, 149 for McDavid. Here we go.
Fucking bitch. Yeah, fucking ogre. Fucking ogre.
A little extra.
Just a little bit.
These guys will be
Hope the kids are tucked in bed.
Will be escorted down their respective tunnels to the dressing rooms. Castelic's had an eventful one. This one, Mangiapane. They were trying to get the last word in all the way through me. So sorry about that cutting off, but that leaderboard of points in 2025, pretty impressive. 3 of them in this game tonight.
Well, Louis, at this stage of your life, you're a peacemaker. This is no longer for you to join in. You've got to settle everything down there every once in a while.
I tried squeezing my mic there. I don't know if I squeezed completely enough.
I was going to say, as a mic squeezer, well, you're a good broadcaster.
Yeah, I was like,
I believe every choice word
I tried.
made it. 4 minutes to go.
I knew the barrage was coming. But, yeah, boiling over a little bit for sure.
Charlie McAvoy and the Boston Bruins will be on the power, or no.
4 on
4, yeah. They originally, it's just going to be canceled out here. 4 minutes to play, 4-goal lead, and a well-earned lead for the Boston Bruins. Steve Spott, Chris Kelly, who skated with the Oilers for, about a quarter of a season as he pondered a comeback one year. It's about 5-6 years ago. And David Pasternak, you see that milestone, 75 multi-goal games, including 19 hat tricks in his often brilliant career.
Well, as he is with most goal scorers, when we talked about it earlier, He's no different. When he gets hot, look out.
Well, and again, I mean, that's Keith Gretzky, now the assistant general manager for the Oilers, general manager down in Bakersfield. Gretzky was the one who made that choice for Boston at the time.
Seen a lot of passes go off skates really hot in this one for Edmonton.
Hampus Lindholm on the board and deeply rips a one-timer on net that's stopped by Connor Ingram. Ekholm up to Bouchard. McDavid on the ice. Point streak will remain intact at 14 games, but the Oilers are going to drop to 20-15-6 with this defeat. And Boston will end its 6-game losing streak that started with a loss to Edmonton. Shoveled on net by McDavid and a save made by Swayman. His 35th of the night. Hampus Lindholm on to Pasternak with 2 goals and an assist already. Bouchard and Draisaitl look to rein him in, and Draisaitl wrestled it free. He'll lead a 3-on-2 for Edmonton. Bouchard the trailer. McDavid couldn't get it to him initially. Then shoveled down low. Draisaitl sliding a backhander wide. Swayman might have gotten a piece of that with his stick. Pasternak the other way for Boston. He's the blocker of Ingram with 2 minutes to go.
That was the hat trick for sure for Pasternak.
Bouchard with 2 blocks in this third period that have saved goals. Jones and Asamont, who have been serving penalties, come out. And now it's 5-on-5. Whacked up the right-hand side by Ekholm. They'll wave off icing. Boston finishes up a 4-game road trip in Vancouver on Saturday. And as Lou and I talked about earlier, it's Edmonton and the Philadelphia Flyers. A 1:30 start Saturday afternoon. We've got a fight. Jones and Aspero. And immediately kind of wrestled to the ice. That never quite materialized. But nevertheless, Jones dropping the gloves with Aspero. And they'll be gone for the remainder of the evening.
I don't mind this from Jones. Not going away quietly here. Aspero's had a strong game for the Bruins, too. Each guy 5 minutes for fighting on this one happened behind the play.
Jones's first fight as an Oiler, correct?
Yep. A little muck in here. So this starts off right here, some cross checks. And then just continues to carry on. And Jones says enough of that. They eventually won't separate, and the gloves come off. Pretty spirited, quick tilt.
That 1:30 matinee for Edmonton will be against the Philadelphia Flyer club that's been hovering around that Metro Division lead, but ran in to the Calgary Flames tonight. Suffered a 5-1 loss. Janmark stretching out. Poked it on net, but Colson came up with it. Angled to Regula. Shot. Frederick looking for it. Final minute now. With Boston about to claim a resounding win on New Year's Eve. Peak breaks away from traffic from Frederick and Janmark and floats one over to Zadorov. Breakout pass to Arvidsson.
Oh, here's Janmark and Zadorov going at it here.
There's Zadorov just threw it overhand right.
That's where you use your stick, in my opinion.
And they're both going to be sent off here with 40 seconds to go.
I don't know why Janmark's going for eating 2 right hands from Zadorov, to be honest.
91 Boston,
but
13 Edmonton, captain misconduct.
Just 10 minutes, and this is about ringing in the new year more than anything else, Louis.
Yeah, this can't wind down fast enough. Gets 2 free right hands here, though. And that's where I'm saying for Janmark, hey, kid, get that stick up.
Well, he did initially with a cross-check.
There's another one.
Boom. Boom, the 2 rights Louis was talking about.
Especially when you're going up against the guy the size of Zadorov.
Final 40 seconds. To Lori, Asamont, able to hack it out of the zone. First win in 15 days for Boston. Now Nurse and Corrali are about to go. Wrestled to the ice as Nurse before any meaningful punches could be exchanged.
Calvin Bicker just keeps opening the door here in front of me because he knows they're going to get ushered out here. A little extra from Nurse here.
Oilers for the third straight December will finish with 9 wins. Tonight won't be one of them, and here's the latest scrap.
Nurse steps up on Corrali here. Once he's down, he gives him a few extra for business, and Corrali says enough of that. He gets up, but they don't really shed the gear here. They just more or less follow the ice in the wrestling, so they'll be escorted down each tunnel respectively. Where was this during the game? Pulled over a little bit here late, but
the final 10 seconds of 2025 come off. Bruins hope they're a playoff team in 2026. Oilers still with cup aspirations after losses in the last 2 finals. But tonight, a solid decision for Boston as they avenge a loss 13 days ago by winning 6-2 on Edmonton's home ice. Tonight's play of the game brought to you by Rogers. This is our game.
Well, this one's pretty hard to beat, Jack. This was the 2-1 goal by Zach Hyman, set up by Connor McDavid. Draisaitl gives him a little dish, and he just does the rest when he walks around 3 Bruins and a beautiful backhand pass over to Hyman. As he puts that one home, keeps his point streak to 14 games. That made it a game 2-1 in the first period, but Boston came out with 2 in the second. Never looked back after that.
Jeremy Swayman, 34 stops. David Pastrnak, 2 goals and an assist. And the Bruins' 6-game losing streak is over. They win it going away 6-2.
Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the Rogers 5G Plus Network. Plus it up with 5G Plus plans that give you more on Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network. And by Molson. We've been everywhere because we're for everyone. Molson. Everyone in.
Tonight's Molson, 3 stars.
Well, a lot to choose from in this one. Hampus Lindholm, a goal and assist. Elias Lindholm with a goal and assist as well. We'll give the 3rd star to both Lindholms in this one. Pastrnak, 3 points, 2 goals and assist. And Jeremy Swayman, who we talked about all night long, made the saves that were necessary and had a big game for his Bruins to break a 6-game losing streak. He's your 1st star.
Oilers next in action Saturday, 1:30 against the Philadelphia Flyers on home ice. They entered the night looking to extend their lead in the Pacific Division, but Boston wouldn't have it. A 6-2 win for the Bruins. Well, for Gene Principe and Louis DeBrusque, I'm Jack Michaels. 2025 throughout the year, ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours. But now we send it back to our good buddy to ring in the year 2026 with Hockey Central. Here's everyone's friend, David Amber.